On September the 5th, 2016, a woman in St. Paul, Minnesota, walked into an appliance store and spent $500 on a Whirlpool dishwasher. It went into her kitchen 8 days later. 3 years and 9 months after that, she found a small puddle underneath it. The puddle grew. By that August, she was laying a bath towel on the floor every single time she ran a load. She called a repair company. The technician charged her $109.95 and told her two things. The leak was coming from the diverter motor seal, and it was not fixable. Then she called Whirlpool's warranty line. She waited on hold for an hour. The representative told her that the expected service life of a dishwasher is 5 years. Her machine was 4. He also told her Whirlpool's system showed no similar complaints on record. That same day, she filed a 48-page federal complaint. Everything you are about to see comes out of that complaint, the settlement paperwork, and the court's own signed orders. Whether a record does not establish something, I am going to stop and say so out loud. The case is Cleveland versus Whirlpool Corporation, District of Minnesota, filed September 4th, 2020. The part at the center of it is a rubber ring. In the filing, it is called the pump motor diverter shaft seal. It sits at the bottom of the tub, inside the sump assembly, where it is supposed to do exactly one job: keep water on the correct side of the diverter shaft. The complaint alleges that on these machines, the seal is installed upside down, not worn out, not cheap, oriented backwards right off the assembly line on the day the machine left the factory. The filing claims that flipped position exposes a much larger portion of the ring to hot, soapy water and food debris every cycle. So the polymer breaks down faster than it should, debris packs in around it, and the spring behind it can no longer close and seal. Water starts working its way between the sump and the tub, then it goes under your floor. Read that back and notice what it means. If the allegation is right, the failure was not caused by anything the owner did. It was already there, sitting under the machine, quietly counting down while the box was still in the truck. The complaint puts the number of affected models at more than 900. Whirlpool Gold, KitchenAid, JennAir, Maytag, Kenmore. Base retail on these ran $500 to $700, and the filing points to a marketing line Whirlpool used at the time. No one has fewer repairs. 18 years in a row. Hold that sentence for a second. Then remember what the warranty rep said on the phone. 5 years. St. Paul was not the only filing. 3 more went in against Whirlpool over the same seal. 1 in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, 1 in the Northern District of Illinois, 1 in the Northern District of California. 4 cases, 4 courts, 1 rubber ring. They were folded into a single settlement in Minnesota. Judge Wilhelmina Wright granted preliminary approval on December the 16th, 2021, and signed final approval on June 23rd, 2022. Here is the part I want to be precise about, because it matters. Whirlpool denies that there is any diverter seal defect. Whirlpool denies breaking any law, and the court never ruled on whether the machines are defective. It only ruled that the deal was fair. A settlement is not a finding of guilt, and I am not going to tell you it is. So what did owners get? Reimbursement for out-of-pocket repair or replacement capped at $225, and only if the leak showed up within 8 years of the manufacture date. That cap slides down as the machine ages. Year 3, $202.50. Years 4 and 5, $157.50. Year 6, $135. Year 7, $67.50. Year 8, 0. Now the mechanism, because this is where a $200 repair bill comes from. Water sits in the sump below the tub floor. The motor drives it up into the spray arms. The diverter shaft is what steers that water. Bottom rack this minute, top rack the next. The shaft has to spin, and it has to spin through the tub floor, so there is a hole, and around the hole is the seal, with a spring pushing it closed against the shaft, a rotating shaft passing through a wall of standing hot water. That is a hard sealing problem on a submarine, and it is a hard sealing problem here. According to the complaint, the ring is a polymer, and it has a correct orientation, lips facing one way, protected side facing the tub. The filing alleges the seal manufacturer's own installation instructions call for that orientation, and that Whirlpool built the assembly the other way around. That is the whole case, 180 degrees. Detergent is doing the real damage here. Dishwasher detergent is aggressive by design, and it runs at temperature, and it runs for 2 hours. A rubber compound that would sit happily in cold water for 15 years does not get 15 years in that environment when its unprotected face is the one taking the hit, and you will not see any of it. The complaint calls the defect latent, and it says the leaking starts so slowly that owners do not notice until it has already failed completely. The water is under the machine, under the toe kick, under the cabinet, into the grout. In the St. Paul case, they only found the floor damage after the dishwasher came out. Now, here is the beat that made me want to build the whole video around this. The complaint alleges that when the first complaints came in, Whirlpool would deny the warranty claim and offer to sell you the seal by itself for under $10. One owner quoted in the filing calls it a $5 grommet. Then, according to the complaint, Whirlpool stopped selling the seal on its own. Now you buy the entire sump assembly, $60 to $75 for the part, around $200 once a technician installs it. On a $500 dishwasher, that is more than a third of what you paid for the machine, to replace a ring that used to cost less than a sandwich. And the last piece of it, which is alleged, not proven, the complaint says the replacement sump assembly ships with the seal in the same inverted position, which means the repair buys you another run of the same clock. The filing says appliance repair companies knew this and did not want to touch the job because they did not want to be the one who charged you $200 for a part that fails the same way. One owner quoted in that complaint gave up entirely, pulled the diverter motor and sprayed the grommet with 5 coats of automotive leak sealant. Then he flipped the dishwasher over and sprayed it from the other side. He wrote that it stopped leaking and that he had no idea how long it would hold. That is a man sealing his kitchen appliance with the stuff he used on his car. So where does this actually leave you? First, what the record establishes. 4 federal lawsuits were filed. A settlement covering Whirlpool-built dishwashers manufactured between 2010 and 2017 was finally approved on June 23, 2022. Money moved. Those are facts on a docket. What the record does not establish: that the machines are defective as a matter of law. No court found that. Whirlpool denied it and settled anyway, which companies do constantly for reasons that have nothing to do with guilt. Second, and I want to be straight with you rather than send you chasing something. If you are watching this and your dishwasher is leaking right now, the settlement is very likely closed to you. The benefit required the leak to happen within 8 years of the manufacture date, and the newest covered machines were built in 2017. Do the arithmetic on that. The window has run out. I am not going to tell you to file a claim that gets rejected. Check the settlement administrator's model list yourself before you spend an evening on it. What is actually useful is this: pull the lower access panel off the front of your dishwasher and look at the center underneath the tub where the motor mounts. If there is mineral crust, a rust ring, or a damp trail running back from the motor, that is your seal, and you have found it before your subfloor did. It costs you 10 minutes and a screwdriver. And if a technician quotes you a full sump assembly, ask the direct question. Ask whether the replacement seal is oriented the same way as the one that failed. If the allegation in that complaint is accurate, you deserve to hear the answer before you pay. Last thing, and this is the reason I trust you to sit through 9 minutes of court paperwork, I went looking for the other case, the Samsung water wall one. It gets referenced in comment sections constantly, and the water wall bar has a genuinely ugly reputation among owners. I could not find it. There is no class action over water wall that I was able to put my hands on. What is real is this. In September 2014, Consumer Reports gave the $1,450 Chef Collection water wall model a do not buy after its filter clogged during testing and stopped the machine. And they pulled that designation the following month once Samsung pushed a software update. Samsung also publishes its own support page for the water wall reflector error, which tells you the reflector jamming is a known behavior, not a rumor. Documented, yes. Litigated, no. If you have paperwork, I do not. I want to see it. Post it. I would rather be corrected in public than build a video on a lawsuit that does not exist. The Whirlpool one exists. It has a case number. That is the difference, and that is the entire point of this channel.